Hi there, folks. Good evening, folks. Welcome back to M&M Weekly. Where we cover movies, media, and everything in between. And today we're gonna be covering the brand new Disney animation live action adaptation of The Jungle Book. Now, for those of you who don't know the original story, let's take a look at The Jungle Book is originally written by a man named Rudyard Kipling. He originally wrote it. Long ago. And the movie was based off of his book. The film then became a 1967 adaptation about a young boy named Mowgli who becomes raised by wolves in the jungle but after his horde in the jungle is generally threatened by a vicious tiger named Shere Khan. He basically is discovered by a panther who helped raise him to the human village to find his clan to keep him out of Shere Khan's clutches. And along the way, he meets some interesting two people. He befriends a bear named Baloo, played by Bill Murray, as he goes on a journey to find his homeland. Now, here's the deal. I don't have much. Granted, this animation live action thing that Disney's doing, it's not new for them. It's something they've actually done for a while. So with films like Cinderella, the first one being films like Cinderella, and it's something that will be repeating next year and forward and onwards with adaptations of films like Beauty and the Beast and Peter Pan, and especially Winnie the Pooh and so forth. And thus, I had some great expectations, considering that some of the reviews for this film were actually pretty good reviews, specifically for director Jon Favreau's skill and insight behind the camera, and especially the stunning world that the film was eager to represent. So with all that in mind, I went to see The Jungle Book this afternoon, and really digging deep. So what do we get with it? Well, guys, I went to that theater with low expectations, and I came out with a big smile on my face. Man, I thought I thought that these Disney adaptations were nothing really to write home about, but after seeing this film, I just thought, man, Jon Favreau, you've got it, man. You've got it in you. Anyway. Now maybe people are saying this is actually the best fully realized CG masterpiece since James Cameron's Avatar back in 2009. And if you know, so I guess the best place to start with this view will be to talk about the voice cast. Talk about Jon Favreau's direction. Now, Jon Favreau has proven himself time and time again to be a great visual director, especially in several of his past films. Films like his Outer Space vision of Zathura to the excellently directed Iron Man and Iron Man 2, to even his best film, the independent comedy Chef. He's proven himself to be a great director who has a ton of skill behind the camera and can definitely weave some interesting pictures. This is actually going to be a bit of a challenge for him, as he once said in interviews. Because here's the thing: CG is basically a hard thing to pull off. It's just kind of a support in films. It's not exactly entire movie. Now, grant, this takes us to the production side. And to the production. As far as the production goes, they actually did use real. They actually did do on set location. They didn't film any real jungles or anything. This is all CGI thing, from the animals to the sets. Granted, they did use original sets for this movie, but for the most part, they used the CG. But like James Cameron's Avatar, they seamlessly weave it in and develop it to a high standard, so that it doesn't come off as forced or have it be the main focus. We're still focused on the main story, and that's how CG can be used right, and that's what Jon Favreau pulls off excellently. Now let's talk about the characters. Now, as I said, we saw the original characters from the Jungle Book. If you've seen the classic, we have like Mowgli, Baloo, Shere Khan, Bagheera, King Louie, and especially the wolves that raised him. That raised him. Also, the Indian guy playing him, a guy playing Mowgli, is actually pretty new, and there are a few times we could feel like he's not quite used to the whole CG environment that you see him in. I do kind of wish that, and that's one of the things I have about this film. I have some that kind of poses kind of a nitpick because whenever you're around CG, you have to you're basically walking around like a green screen environment, and although no matter how well rehearsed the script one could be, you can't really envision. You have to kind of picture in your head the people that you're talking to, and my request it takes to get right, and sometimes that can be a tricky thing to pull off. I admire the actor's ability to kind of pull off for the most part, but there are a few points where I feel like he kind of gets a little lost. He gets a little lost sometimes, and that's just me kind of nitpicking, honestly. But it is something I do want to point out. As far as the other character goes, I actually let's talk about the characters as well as the voice cast, because really the two actually go hand in hand. Now, Baloo has always been a great, likable character. It kind of has the most comedic parts in the movie. So in other words, Bill Murray playing him was definitely the most perfect choice they could have ever made. Idris Elba definitely plays Shere Khan, and I've seen him before in some movies, particularly Thor: The Dark World, and especially his most recent film, playing the Angry Chief in Zootopia. And I gotta say, guys, that guy pulls off the villain role nicely. He's motivated, he's haunting, he's evil, he's intimidating, he's got depth to him. I guess they definitely did. Jon Favreau, you pulled it off once again. I know I keep saying this, man, but I won't say if you didn't earn it. Especially the supporting cast goes well too. Ben Kingsley's great as always. Giancarlo Esposito, he's definitely better here. It's just as good here as he was in Maze Runner: The Scorch Trials, even better than Breaking Bad, and especially like that woman from Star Wars: The Force Awakens. I don't know her name, but she played the female wolf who helped raise Mowgli. She was great as well. Basically, the cast overall, especially props must be given to Christopher Walken's brief but excellent role as King Louie. Christopher Walken is just an amazing actor. And I can't wait to see him in 9 Lives with Kevin Spacey, really. So overall, that's all I have to say about the film thus far. Now, I'm not gonna say this is a perfect film, far from it, but it's definitely one of the best films I've seen this year. Jon Favreau is excellent. The CG is woven and great. The story stays true to the original story by Rudyard Kipling. The characters are great. Mowgli is awesome. We see so many things from this film that we love seeing in the classic. Basically, if you love the animated classic, you'll definitely like this. If you can get around, if you haven't seen the classic before, just want to see this for the first time, then go ahead, do it. You might not love it. You might not love the whole thing, but you'll find something to enjoy, just like I did. And guys, I'm gonna say this. The Jungle Book gets the M&M Weekly stamp of awesomeness. A very strong 9 out of 10. A very strong 9 out of 10. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. So thank you guys a lot for watching. And remember, James Cameron might have succeeded with Avatar, just like Jon Favreau might have succeeded with Hero just as much as James Cameron did with Avatar. But CG shall be shan't be taken abused. Shan't be abused like this. However, but thanks a lot for watching anyways. If you guys like what you saw, comment down below, let me know. I want to know what you want to know. Is there anything I need to improve here? My presentation, anything like that? Is there anything like that? Please comment down below. Let me know about that. Please like and subscribe. Be sure to check out more videos if you'd like to. And until then,